Let's see how to install Ubuntu 24.04 alongside Windows 11 for a dual boot configuration. All we're going to need for this setup is a USB flash drive. Its size needs to be at least 32 gigabytes, even 16 gigabytes should be enough, and of course a working installation of Windows 11. So the first thing we're going to do is to allocate some disk space for Ubuntu. To do that, we're going to right click here on the Windows Start menu right here, and from the options we're going to choose this one, Disk Management. Now, as you can see, in my case I only have one disk, that's the one that's named Disk 0. Its size is about 120 gigabytes and it consists of a few partitions. It has this partition, 200 megabytes, which is the EFI system partition. Then we have the C drive, which uses most of the disk space, and its size is almost 120 gigabytes. And then we have some recovery partition for Windows. What we're going to do is to shrink our C drive so we have some disk space for Ubuntu. To do that, I'm going to right click on the C drive. Then I'm going to choose Shrink Volume. We then need to choose by how much we want to shrink our disk. Now, you can install Ubuntu even with as little as 20 gigabytes. This is definitely enough for a basic installation of Ubuntu. But if, of course, you plan to have a lot of software and files on your Ubuntu installation, then you might want to allocate a bit more. For this demonstration, I'll go with 30 gigabytes, which is about 30,000 megabytes. So here I'm going to write 30,000. Then we can click on Shrink. And we can see that the C drive now is a bit smaller. Its size is only about 90 gigabytes, but we have this new unallocated space, which is almost 30 gigabytes, and this is where we're going to install Ubuntu. So we're done here. Let's close this window. And now I'm going to open my web browser, and we need to go to ubuntu.com. Just like this, ubuntu.com. And here I'm going to click here where it says download Ubuntu. Then we can click on the big green button that says download Ubuntu desktop. And as you can see, from here we can download either the LTS or long-term support version, or if we scroll down a bit, we can download the latest overall version, which is what's known as a short-term support version. So unless it is really important for you that the Ubuntu repositories will include more recent versions of most software, it's really recommended for most people to go with the LTS version. These ones are supported for a longer time, they are more stable, and it's probably an all-around better choice for most people. So this is what I'm going to go with in this tutorial. So here I'm going to click on the download button. And on this page we need to wait for a few seconds, and then the Ubuntu download starts. Now this is a big file, it's almost 6 gigabytes, so it will take probably at least several minutes to download. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so the Ubuntu installation is done and we should now have it in our downloads folder. So let's open the downloads folder, and here is our downloads folder. And here we can see Ubuntu 24.04.iso. So this is the ISO file we just downloaded, and this is the one that we're going to use to install Ubuntu. Next, we need a special software to prepare our USB flash drive so that we can use it as a bootable USB flash drive. So let's go back to the web browser. And now we're going to go to ventoy.net. Okay, just like this, ventoy.net. Using Ventoy is a really good and reliable way to create bootable USB flash drives, so this is the one that we're going to use. Let's go to the Downloads section, and I am on Windows, so I need the Windows version, so let's click on this link, and we were redirected to SourceForge, and once again I need the Windows version, so this is the one that I'm going to choose. Ventoy for windows.zip. Now we need to wait for 5 seconds and then Ventoy will be downloaded. Okay, and the zip file is being downloaded. It's really not a big file, it will be downloaded quickly. Okay, and it was downloaded. Let's go back to our downloads folder, and here we can see it. I'm now going to choose this file, then right click on it, and now I'm going to choose Extract All. I prefer to uncheck this checkbox, then Extract. And we now have a new folder for Ventoy. Let's open the new folder and the inner subfolder. And this is the file that we're going to use in a second, ventoy2disk.exe. But before running this file, I'm going to plug in my USB flash drive. So let's do that. Okay, and I plugged in my USB flash drive. We can see it here. It's called the D drive. So let's open it in a new tab. Here it is. And notice that if you have anything important on this disk, back it up because we are going to delete everything that's on this disk. In my case, it's empty, so I'm fine. So let's go back to our Ventoy folder. And now I'm going to double click on this file, ventoy2disk.exe. And we need to allow it to make changes, so yes. And from this dropdown, we need to make sure that the correct disk is the selected one, the removable USB flash drive. So make sure that the letter of the drive is the correct one. It is D in my case, which is correct. And also that the size of the disk is correct. 256 gigabytes in my case, this is the correct disk. Make sure that you don't make a mistake here. And once you are sure, choose the disk. Then we need to click on install. We need to confirm, so yes, and yes again. And this is going to convert our USB flash drive to a bootable USB flash drive using Ventoy. Okay, and it's done. We can click on OK. And we can now see that the version on the installation matches what we currently have on the USB flash drive, so we are fine. And we can close the Ventoy installer. And now our D disk is called Ventoy. So now I'm going to open again my downloads folder. Here it is. And I'm going to copy my Ubuntu ISO file. So I'm going to right click on it and choose copy. Then I'll go back to the D USB flash drive or the Ventoy drive. And I'm going to paste the ISO file to this drive. So I'm going to right click here and paste. And the Ubuntu ISO file is being copied to the Ventoy USB flash drive. It's quite a big file and it depends on the speed of your USB flash drive. It might take a minute or two, but nothing crazy. Okay, and the file was copied. Here is what we're going to do next. We now need to restart the computer, and as soon as the computer will restart, while it's loading, we need to quickly tap on a special key. Now, this special key differs among different computers, but usually it's one of the following: Escape, F2, F10, F12, or Delete. I know that this is a lot of options. You will have to experiment a bit to find which one is the correct one for you. It might take a few tries to get the right one. Anyway, the idea is that you need to restart the computer, and while the computer is loading, you need to quickly tap the special key. So for example, if it is F2, you need to quickly tap F2, 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 while it's loading. And this is going to take you to the boot menu. From the boot menu, you're going to be able to choose how you want to boot your computer. So instead of just Windows loading, which is the default operation and what usually happens, we want to choose our new bootable USB flash drive. And this is why we're going to need the boot menu. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to restart my computer, and I already know that for me the special key is F2. Now if you're not sure about the special key, maybe try to press on a few of them at the same time. So maybe Escape and F2 and F10, and then try F12 and Delete. And probably among all of these options, something should work and you will get to the boot menu. So let's do that now. Let me restart my computer. And now I'm quickly going to tap on the F2 key. Okay, so I'm going to wait another second. And now F2, 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 F2. Okay, yeah, and we got it. Here is our boot menu. So if we choose boot normally, Windows will load as it usually does. We can also see the Windows Boot Manager as a dedicated option here, but of course this is not what we're going to choose. We are going to choose this option, the EFI USB device, because this is the Ventoy bootable USB that we just prepared. So this is the option we need, and this is what I'm going to choose. And we need to wait for it to load, and now we can see the Ventoy menu. Right now we only have one ISO file on our Ventoy folder, and this is the Ubuntu ISO file, so this is the option that we're going to go with. So let's hit enter to choose Ubuntu, and we need to choose a mode for Ubuntu, and I'm going to choose boot in normal mode. And now Ubuntu will load from the Ventoy USB flash drive. So now I'm going to choose here, try or install Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is now loading. It will take a minute. It's loading from the USB flash drive, which is a bit slower, but it will eventually load. Okay, and we can see the Ubuntu splash screen. Once again, we need to give it a minute to load, and we got the Ubuntu installation screen. So first we need to choose a language. I'll go with English. You can then turn on accessibility options, so choose the ones that you need, then click on Next. For the keyboard layout, I'll go with English. Then you can connect to the internet either by a wired connection or using Wi-Fi. I'm going to use wired connection and Next. We can update the installer. I'm not going to do that, so skip. And if you just want to try Ubuntu, you can absolutely do that by choosing this option, Try Ubuntu, but I am going to install Ubuntu, so Next. Here I'm going to choose interactive installation, and we can choose either the default selection or an extended set of software. Choose that if you want more pre-installed options from the get-go. I'm just going to go with the default selection and next. It's recommended to check both of these boxes, then click on next. And as you can see, the Ubuntu installer recognized that we have Windows installed on the computer. So we are getting this option, the first one that says install Ubuntu alongside Windows Boot Manager. And then it says you can choose your operating system during boot. This is exactly what we want, and this will basically set up the dual boot for us. If you want to completely remove Windows, choose this option, erase disk and install Ubuntu, and you can also choose manual installation to set up the partitions yourself. But if you just want a simple working setup for dual boot, simply go with the first option, install Ubuntu alongside Windows. So this is what I'm going to choose, and let's click on next. We then need to provide a name, a computer's name, a username, and a password. And we also need to confirm the password. And I'm going to uncheck this box because I don't want it to require my password to log in. Then we can click on next. We need to choose a time zone, then click on next again. Then we get a summary of the selections we made, and we can click on install. And Ubuntu is now being installed on the free space that we left for it. This installation process is quite lengthy. It should take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so it took a long time, but it's finally done. I think that the reason that it took so long for me is because my USB flash drive is old and quite slow. In hindsight, I should probably have used a faster USB flash drive, but it's finally done, and that's the important thing. Now we're going to click on Restart Now, and the computer is restarting with Ubuntu installed. And now when the computer loads, we get this grab screen. And from here we can see that we have several options, but two of them are of interest to us. So the first one is this one, the one that says Ubuntu. If we choose this option, Ubuntu will start. But if we scroll down and choose this option, Windows Boot Manager, then Windows will start. So let's choose the first option, the Ubuntu option. And now Ubuntu is loading, and we can see the Ubuntu welcome screen. Let's click on next. I'm going to skip, next, and finish. And Ubuntu is now up and running and ready for use. Let's now restart the computer again. So I'm going to click here, then restart. And now from the grab boot menu that is shown when the computer loads, we're going to choose Windows Boot Manager. And this time Windows loaded, and we can use it just as usual.